Jake Paul Joshua.
Oh, Jesus. That's a fucking bad idea. That's a bad idea. But let me tell you what. A lot of people watch that one.
Will you watch it?
Sure. You know what everybody's tuning in for on that one. Then I think everybody's going to get what they've finally been waiting for.
I'm a little fucked up, but will you take care of me forever and ever?
After riding his streak for years, the controversial star finally hit a dead end. People around the world had long speculated about what would happen if online hype met a true heavyweight force. On December 19th, that question was answered in the harshest way possible. This wasn't just a defeat. It was a brutal wake-up call. One that ended with Jake Paul confined to a hospital bed, facing the consequences head-on.
Day after the fight, got out of surgery a few hours ago. They put a plate in my jaw, wired it up. Hurts to talk, so I'm gonna keep it short. Took the L, respect to the medical.
This is no longer about hype, trash talk, or pay-per-view sales. It's about a harsh lesson in real knockout power. And now, with Dana White finally speaking out, his reaction is shaking the entire combat sports scene.
Brother, unfixable. I don't hate your brother. You guys need to fight guys your fucking same size. When you fought Floyd, you are massive. He did hit you with a fucking bomb, and you fucking ate it. He's gonna fight Gervonta Davis. Who do you got? Gervonta, I think, hits way harder than Floyd, but he's too small. Your brother's gonna be able to get inside on him, put his weight on him, tie him up.
I hear your critique on fighting guys the same size as you. Is that why you guys wouldn't let me fight Conor?
Yeah, you're fucking huge. Conor weighs 145 pounds, 155 pounds.
Yeah, but he says he
The sixth round was meant to prove Jake Paul belonged, but it ended his illusion instead. At 131, Anthony Joshua landed a flawless right hand that shut everything down. After surviving multiple knockdowns, Jake finally met a limit he couldn't escape. Slumping to the canvas, his confidence vanished, replaced by the reality of a serious jaw injury. This wasn't just a loss, it was domination by a fighter who decided the fight was over when he was ready.
Or Jake would have moved around the ring at 100 miles an hour. There's two things I would have done. Tried to shut Jake down at 100 miles an hour, or I would have gone on the back foot. So Jake decided to move around the ring, and I decided to put the pressure on. What I could have done better is a lot of things. 100%. In the fight game, you've seen the amazing fighters that have graced us over the last 100 years, and the expectations that we put on ourselves are immense, but I tried my best. Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron is, fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you that, Jake, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna see a time when I'm gonna take your soul and you're either gonna give up or you're gonna get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit. He has some heart. He tried his best, and I take my hat off to him because, number one, a lot of fighters haven't got in the ring with me, and Jake did. And secondly, even when he got knocked down, he kept on trying to get up, and I take my hat off to him. So America, I think you have someone who could potentially, if he still has the heart for it, come back again, dust the dirt off his shoulder, and come again and maybe sell out this center sometime in 2026, maybe against a Gervonta Davis, a Ryan Garcia, who knows?
What followed in the hospital has been a nightmare for Paul's team. Doctors worked extensively to repair his jaw, reinforcing it with metal supports to keep the bones stable. The injuries were severe enough to require dental removals, and he's now limited to a liquid-only diet for the near future. Medical images shared online reveal just how serious the damage was, a lasting reminder of a fight many believed should never have happened. Even so, Jake's joking comments about returning quickly feel less like confidence and more like an effort to stay in the spotlight.
Paul lost to Fury. I haven't really paid attention to Jake Paul.
I have love for Jake too. I don't know when a fight's happening. I really don't.
All the same. He fights older people that are smaller. It's all the same shit.
Am I not remembering correctly? Didn't Jake ask if you could make a immense between them?
I don't think it's ready for that yet.
Well, it's not that I don't hate
Yeah.
Jake Paul. Jake Paul's doing his.
Jake Paul did what Jake Paul always does, but Dana White wasn't surprised at all. The UFC boss made no effort to hide his "I warned you" reaction when the news broke. For years, he's criticized this influencer boxing trend, and this outcome only reinforced his stance. Dana made it clear that real combat sports have levels no hype or online fame can bypass. Seeing Paul headed for surgery didn't shock him. It simply confirmed what he believed from the start. This matchup was a bad idea, and the result was entirely predictable.
Oh, what'd you think of the fight?
Oh, God. I think the gig is up. I'm just tired of Jake Paul as a boxer. I think he's done a fantastic job. He dressed up like Hulk Hogan. I just don't know how many more times Netflix is going to go to bat for him. But I think they will one more time because, the axiom is basically if you draw money, you're going to be getting chance after chance until you're not drawing money. And then you'll still get a couple more chances after that because you did draw money. And that's kind of where he's at right now. He's going to draw with Tyson. He's going to draw on this one. And so he's going to get a couple of more chances, with Netflix. And they'll pay that, good for him. They'll pay that money. But, man, these are, this was just a bad fight. And made boxing look bad. Made boxing look bad in many ways. Especially it just was a circus. And the guy, going for takedowns and the ref's not doing anything. I thought the ref was terrible. Thought Joshua, was not good. Hurt himself, and then he even admitted it. And Jake was just out there not trying to win a boxing match. He was trying to survive and get the moral victory so he can go out there and be, I lasted 6 rounds with Anthony Joshua. And he survived 6 rounds with him.
He survived all right.
But
he never quit. Like somebody.
The size difference on fight night was impossible to ignore. Joshua entered the ring as a true heavyweight force, while Paul looked noticeably outmatched. Analysts have since compared the fight to a cat-and-mouse chase, with Jake spending most of the bout avoiding danger just to last. Now, criticism of the Florida State Athletic Commission is intensifying, with experts calling the approval reckless. When an inexperienced fighter faces an elite finisher, stops being a contest and becomes a serious risk.
To carry Jake Paul for a while, but told me afterwards that he could see that Jake Paul was being evasive. I spoke to him personally, and he decided just to slowly marinate Jake Paul. Obviously hit him with a huge right hand midway through the 6th round to end the bout. Broke Jake Paul's jaw. He ended up in hospital, kind of rearranged his teeth a little as well, but was very clear afterwards to give great praise to the bravery and courage of Jake Paul that everybody saw. I mean, delusionally optimistic he really is. Jake Paul should go and fight YouTubers and influencers now. I don't think this kind of bout should be sanctioned again. But Joshua, of course, now wants to fight Tyson Fury. He's called him out, and I hope we get that fight in 2026 after both of them have had warm-ups. I understand Joshua will have a warm-up fight in Riyadh late in February 2026. It's all done here. It's over. It's a one and done, I hope.
Even within the Paul family, the tone has shifted from confidence to damage control. Logan Paul publicly defended his brother, insisting Jake had taken several rounds before it ended and praising his toughness. But the wider combat sports world isn't buying that story. Voices like Daniel Cormier and Carl Froch have been blunt, suggesting Joshua extended the fight only to entertain viewers before closing it out. Froch even labeled the event damaging, arguing it hurt boxing's credibility far more than it helped Jake's image.
Paul was just on pure survival mode from round 1 right through to round 6. I don't know if he's got a moral victory going 6 rounds. Maybe he has. People might give him credit for going 6 rounds. But he got in there and just survived. He just went in there and ran like a chicken from round 1 right through to round 6 when he got splattered. And it's like, it's just, you can't really justify what he's done because this is supposed to be a professional professional sanctioned boxing match, and I think it brings the integrity of the sport down when somebody like AJ is a 2-time world champion, can't get in there and just completely dismiss somebody like Jake Paul, who I've said for ages can't fight. He's not a professional boxer. It's just AJ following him around, touching him to the shoulder. Round 1 came and went. Round 2 was much of the same, bit slow. I think AJ got caught with an overhand right at one stage, but sometimes when you're out in the rain, you're going to get wet. It was following him around, taking his eye off the ball, probably a bit undermotivated, thinking, what's this guy doing that's in front of me? Jake Paul was just running left to right, ducking low, falling on the floor, throwing a couple of wild swings, and one did get through, but it just bounced off AJ's chin like water off a duck's back. It was nothing. And then the only reason Anthony Joshua got the fight finished, the sad thing is, I think if Jake Paul was fit enough and he had the energy and the engine, which he hasn't got, because he's not a professional athlete. No, he goes in the gym every day and he trains and he's fit and he trains like a pro. But that don't make you a professional fighter. What makes you a professional fighter is building yourself up through the ranking system, earning your position in the professional sport.
Warnings from fighters like Conor McGregor now feel disturbingly accurate. Before the bout, McGregor called it an easy win for AJ and suggested the fight would leave lasting consequences. And he wasn't wrong. Taking a clean shot from a heavyweight champion isn't just painful, it can change everything. Now, as Jake recovers in a hospital and faces a long rehab, many are questioning whether the payday was worth the lasting damage. That debate has become the real takeaway from the fight.